Good Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome back to my mini sketchbook tour for 2024. This is week number 21, so let's get into it. This first spread, done during a lunch break at work. This is my coworker Yanni, who I haven't sketched in a while, so I thought I'd return back to him and get him while he took a quick nap during lunch. And then in the background, another coworker. And this particular drawing really foreshadows what I'm trying to attempt in my current drawings, layering and producing a lot of elements within one scene. And how do you effectively layer stuff in the foreground, and then how do you put down marks in the midground and background to create this three-dimensional space? So that's what I'm working on, or in my head at least, at the moment. Going back to something a bit more simpler, these two were commuters, I believe. This definitely was a commuter. He had a great look about him, and I sketched him, put him down on paper before he got up and left on his stop. And this particular gentleman, I don't think was a commuter. He was, I think, a patron at a Tim Hortons. And what strikes me about these two images right now, especially how I concentrated on their facial features and markings, and trying to, at least this one, simplify my line marks so it's just putting down a minimal amount of marks to make the maximum impact. So that means putting those lines, making the proportions accurate, and at least for me, the objective is to make it look like the subject person. So that means everything has to be in its right place. Moving on, this is at the welding school. I got there early. I'm just going to shift up and down like this so you could see the whole thing. This is Gideon, and I got there a few hours before, and Gideon is one of the instructors there, and he and Miguel, the other instructor, were fabricating a griddle for the barbecue. And this was what Gideon was doing. He was just tack welding and then fusing together two stainless steel plates to make this larger plate that would fit on a barbecue. And then Miguel took a smaller piece of stainless steel, welded and fabricated this sort of curved handle onto to make a spatula. I have pictures of that on my Instagram account, and I'll link them down below. This next drawing was done over a period of 2 sessions. I arrived quite early at work, and unfortunately the electricity was off for the entire block that my work location was located on. So it gave me about an hour to do the initial block-in of this motorcycle. There's a garage right beside the frame shop that I work at. And this was a massive challenge on many fronts. For example, the front wheel, it actually looks like it's sort of receding back, sort of tilted and receding back, so that worked for me. But then any motorcycle, any mechanical thing has all these intricate little bits and bobs. I don't know the names of these things. I'm not mechanically inclined, but it was a great challenge to sort of get them all in a fashion that wasn't too detailed, so it made it muddy, but just enough information in there to sort of convey what it was. I guess this is the engine block. You guys could correct me if I'm right on that. And then the back tire gave me the most trouble getting it in a proper perspective. But I finished that on my second session during my lunch break, where fortunately the motorcycle was still parked there, and I got to finish that with a bit of the handlebar area. And the last sketch for this particular small sketchbook is a self-portrait. I haven't done a self-portrait in a while, and I thought I would do that, give my face another shot. It's always enlightening to do self-portraits to see how far I've come or how well I see my face. And I just have to look in the mirror and see if I got it or not. And this is a fairly spot-on representation of myself. I'm I think I'm getting better. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to jump into my large sketchbook. One other note. I did a comparison of self-portrait drawings that I did of myself 10 years apart. I'll link that up above here so you could take a look at it. No, I'll link it down in the comment section below. It's on my Instagram account. But I'm going to jump to my large sketchbook so you could see what I did to finish off this week. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with my larger sketchbook. It measures about 12 by 16, and I'm continuing with these larger pen portrait drawings in this particular sketchbook just to get used to a larger format. This particular lady, I wanted to draw her wavy hair. That's what caught my attention when I was looking through the reference photos. And I think I did a fairly reasonable job with it. I didn't want to draw every hair, so I concentrated on the part and the front part of her hairdo. And she had these great jowls that sort of sagged a bit, and how do you render that? And it was a great fun. It was a great challenging drawing to do. And then the last drawing for this mini sketchbook tour is of this guy. What caught my attention here was his teeth. Like, I'm not too sure if you're aware, but when you draw or paint, you don't draw every individual tooth. It just looks really, it doesn't look right. So you make the impression, but in this case, I sort of formed the teeth with the negative space by darkening it in and a few lines, and there you have it, his tooth. But what really caught my attention, it's just a small thing, was the shadow along his jowls right here and how it sort of receded down to his neckline. That's what caught my attention in the reference photo. It's strange what catches my eye when I'm trying to look for something to draw. Anyways, thank you for joining me. This is week number 21 of my mini sketchbook tour. It's roughly from May 21st to May 27th, 28th. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a great week. I hope you will have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.